So welcome everyone to our episode on episode 2. Uh, Welcome to episode 2 of computer science. So today in this episode we are diving into one of the more important foundations of programming called control structures. So here, these are the building blocks that determine how your code runs, when things happen, and which actions occur. And by the end of this video, you will clearly understand the three fundamental structures called sequence, selection, and third of all, iteration. So, our first topic to discuss is what are control structures? What is it? So I'll take a different color. So a control structure is, so simply I'll say every program you write follows, like every program you write follows a flow, one instruction after another. Control structures are rules that control the flow. So I would say it's a rule that controls the flow. So there are three of them, and everything you write in programming is built from these three ideas: sequence, selection, and iteration. So again, what are control structures? Control structure are rules that controls the flow. Control structure are rules that controls a flow. So let's break down each of the example. So first we will talk about sequence. You might be thinking, what is sequence? And you've probably heard of it. Sequence is the simplest structure. It's the default behavior of any program. Instructions run one after another. Instructions. So in the order they are written. So in an example, a real world, you take a computer. It's a bad computer, don't worry. First step is turn on. The second step is to log in, and the third step is open your coding project. So the computer doesn't skip steps and it doesn't repeat them. It executes them in sequence. So let's show it in a more computerized way. So in pseudocode, we can say input name, and the output would be hello, and then the name. What about if you write the same thing in Python? Name equals input. I'll say enter your name. Oops, I didn't close the bracket. I'll say it up like that, and then I would print. This should be right here, my bad. We can say print hello plus the name, something like that. The sequence make up the majority of your code, implementing complex programs. And let's move on to selection, which is if then else case. So selection is about all about decision making as well, whereas it just so selection, however, it is all about decision making, as I said, whereas sequence is just repeating one after the other. Let me write it clearly. So this includes if statements. I would gladly write an example for this. So when if statements are used when you only need to perform an action if a condition true. If a condition is true, so I would do in pseudocode, I would write it as if age is greater than 18, then and only then output you are an adult. And then I would just end if, and oops, my bad. And in Python I would say if age is greater than or equal to 18, then I would like to print you are an adult. So let's now move into if and also else. You will use this when you need to consider two possible outcomes. When there are two possible outcomes, so I would again allow to show in pseudocode. The right correct is pseudocode. I think I did, yes. For this example, I would do something like this: if core is greater than or equal to 50, oops, that's a sad face. Greater than or equal to 50, oops, that's a sad face. 50, then I would say output pass, or else if it's not if, my bad. Now we use if because there are two outcomes. Recording. and else output would be fail. And if I would like to show you this in Python as well. I'll say if scores are greater than or equal to 50, and then I would say the computer to print pass, and else I would say print fail. So I would have one in pseudocode and the second one is in Python, and also here one in pseudocode, the second one is Python. So we have if statement and let's now move into if, else, and else if. It's strange, I know. We need to use this when there are used when multiple conditions must be checked in order. So I would like to show this in pseudocode and Python as well. I would write here pseudocode if grade is greater than or equal to 90, then output would be A. If I'll say else, if grade is greater than 80, then I'll say output B. And another else if you know the drill, grade to be greater equal to 70, then output C, and finally else, then you do output D for fail. Oh, that's too harsh. I'll say D or below, and I'll do end if I would like to perform the same in Python. Here I would start us off by if grade is greater than or equal to 90, then let the machine print A, and L, oops, my bad, and I would do elif grade is greater than or equal to 80, then I would say print B. This is a hard school. And elif grade is greater than or equal to 70, I would say print C. And finally I would say else to do the D or below. So we got the option to do the if statement, if else statement, and if else if statement. And now I would like to move on to case of statement. So please, here. Why am I doing this? Here, case statement, choose from multiple options more clearly. So again, I would like to clarify this using pseudocode. So I will say case option of 1. I will say output start game. 2. I will say to output load game. Oops, the G is wrong. 3. Output quit. And by the way, this out should, when writing pseudocode, this should be in capital. And I would like to end the case. And Python doesn't have an inbuilt case statement before this specific version called version 3.1. And by any chance, if you have a version below version 3.01, you might need to consider upgrading it into a version that is equal to 3.1 or greater than 3.1. But if you guys are using below 3.1, we can use match, and I will be gladly to show this in Python using match. So match option, I will do case 1. I would like to print start game. And case 2, I would like to print load game. I still haven't grasped the understanding of a case statement, but I would like to clarify it to you guys if you have any problems in the future. Case 3 would be quit. And that would be it for the is it selection? Yes, this is for selection. So, and now we will dive into our third control structure, which is iteration. Oops, sorry for the delay on my screen. Oops, something on my laptop. And I will talk about iteration, which is the iteration means repeating a block of code until a condition is met. met. So there are two main types you must know. First of all, which is pre-test loops, which is condition, which is where a condition is checked before the loop runs. So his example would be the while loops. Excuse me, there's something wrong with my laptop. And the second type is post-test loops, where the loop runs at least once before checking the condition. Which is why programmers use repeat or until loops. Repeat until or repeat until loops. So I would take the chance on going through both of these. So first of all, let us go through in a while loop. I would drag this here to show you. That is better, and I will edit to show this in simple. So here this loop is code runs at least once. Oh, my bad. This would be the while loop runs until while a condition is true. So in pseudocode, I would say while counter is less than 5, do output counter, and then do counter equals counter plus 1, and we do end while. The same thing in Python would be counter to be equal to what is that? To equal to 0, and then while counter is less than 5, 2 dots, we do print counter plus my bad, counter plus or equals 1. So this loop tests the condition first, which is this. And if the condition is false from the start, it may never run. That's why the while loop comes. It runs while the condition is true. And then the second one is the repeat until loop. Which is always run at least once. Runs at least once. I would like to draw a big line. That would be alright. At once, and once more, I would like rather show this in code other than explaining. We do repeat input password until the password becomes correct. This loop continues until the condition becomes true. Python does not have built-in repeat until loop, but we can mimic it using while true. Python using I would say while true. Oops, the problem came again. While true, I would say password equals input. I would say password oops I'm gonna drag this. Password, and if password is double equal to secret, then we break the while loop, because look, it runs at least once. So for ATAR exams, you must stick closely to the official pseudocode conventions. So here are some pseudocode conventions you might need to know as well. So wait, what? Excuse me, what just happened? So first of all, you must need to know that all keywords keywords to be written in uppercase. So some are if, else, while, repeat, until, and case. And indentation show structure. And variables are lowercase or in mixed case. Condition use equal for equality, equals for equality. Output use output, and input uses input. Throughout this code, every example will follow this convention exactly to prepare you for the exams. So if we were to use Python, it shows how each control structure looks in Python. So I would like to show you a quick wrap up of using Python in this control structure. First of all, which is sequence. And I will use a blue pen to show this. If you get x equals 5 and y equals x times 2, and we print y, and this arrow seems a bit wobbly. I'll use selection here. And again use if x is less than 10, then print big, and else I would be fortunate to print is small. Another line to meet our final control structure, which is iteration. And here I would say while x is greater than 10, print x, and x will be like that. But beware, you'll get plenty more Python examples in the future. Oops, wrong color. So, and that's it for the episode 1, end of episode 2, I believe. And you now understand the 3 essential control structures: sequence, selection, and iteration, and how to write them using both pseudocode and Python. In the next lesson, we'll dive deeper into variables, and this would be a sneak peek for And for episode 3, I will go through variables and into data types. My role is so sketchy. And then into expressions.